Rory. I'm an inventor. I design products. This is Joe. He's a carpenter, and we've been working together on an invention. So
Hello,
Joe,
everyone.
Joe fits. Well, he does all types of carpentry, but he often has to fit new doors into old door frames, which is a lot harder than it sounds because door frames move and settle over time. You know, they can be wonky. They're all different shapes. So you end up spending hours cutting and trimming these doors to fit in door frames. So Joe, being a creative guy, had this really cool idea of making a door frame jig. So it captures the shape of a door frame, and he built it. He came up with the design. He brought someone in to make it for him. He had a prototype produced for a few £1,000s, and then so this was all before we'd met and we came together. So it's up to you if you want to drop the company name or not. I'll leave it up to you. You don't have to. But would you mind just saying a bit, Joe, about what happened, before we met? I think it would be really nice for other people and other carpenters to hear that. Like what can some of the risks, I guess. Yeah.
Uh, um, yeah, so yeah, I've always done so many new doors in old frames, and yeah, wanted a simpler way to do it instead of, as a lot of carpenters know, if you're hanging a new door in an old frame, you might be on the third floor or the second floor, so you're taking it back off to trim it up back outside because there's no room in the house to work. So as far as I'm concerned, the simplest solution would be to have some sort of jig to capture that door shape in that wonky door frame and cut it once and hang it once. So yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking towards, and what I had made, and it worked. So it helps me do my job quicker. It creates a lot less mess. It's just a quicker solution to hanging a new door in an old frame, to be honest.
Yeah. And then so you made that prototype, and then there's a company in the UK. You contacted them, you sent your prototype off to them, and they were very
Yep.
positive, right? They were like, "Oh, this is great. We like this. We want to work with you."
Extremely positive.
Yeah.
They had it for nearly a year. I went back and forward speaking to them, went to the meeting at their headquarters, and yeah, and then they decided to drop it because they weren't too sure. So yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how much information I should give you.
Oh, well, we won't mention the name of the company, but yeah, just a quick summary. We don't want to focus in on it too much, but I think it's good for people to hear that. So Joe hadn't filed a patent, which is very normal for inventors 'cause it's really hard. They're very expensive. If you get a quote for a patent, you're often quoted £10,000, £20,000, something like this. So it's it's bad to spend that much money up front on an idea. So it really makes you stuck. So he's gone to this company. He doesn't have a patent, and they were saying all the right things. Oh, we're going to work together with you on this. We can help file the patent, and if the invention has to change or develop, that's fine. We'll keep you in the loop. Anyway, they then found there was an existing patent that was quite similar to the design. They implied that they were going to take it in their own direction and tweak it so it still worked but didn't violate that patent. And then basically they cut Joe out, which, yeah, really not nice of them. And what's more, they never returned the prototype, did they? They did after you chased up a bunch of
No,
times, sent you some
no.
money.
They told me that they
Lost it.
have been wanting to do something like this for years, but they never had the time to put into it, and they thought that my invention was basically 70% there. They just wanted to tweak it, and yeah, then they just dropped me. And
Yeah.
they said they'll send my jig back instead of me travelling to near a London airport where their headquarters were. They said they'll send it by post, and within 6 weeks they told me, "Oh no, it's been lost in the post," which is really shocking from some very decent, reputable company. But
Yeah.
still, I just had to take
Yeah.
the loss and
Yeah.
start from scratch again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's happened to all of us. It's happened to the best of us, and that yeah. So that is really sucks. Really horrible that that happened to you. You don't deserve it, and that company deserves a slap on the wrist. They technically didn't do anything illegal, well, in the
No.
realm anyway, but obviously it was like immoral, not nice. Um, anyway, so then fast forward, this is when Joe and I met, and I've
Yeah,
been
we
helping.
teamed up.
Yeah, we teamed up. So I've been helping Joe relaunch it with a different process. And I have some tips and tricks that let us skip some of those more expensive steps. So, step one, we came up with a new design together, one which would deliver the same benefit or more, but be a bit cheaper and simpler and have a unique design. So it would be patentable. And we did all this electronically with 3D CAD, like sending it back and forth to each other. And like between my design skills and Joe's experience and smarts, we came up with something really cool. And then
Yeah, really did.
yeah, and then we filed a provisional patent. This is a wonderful tool for inventors that a lot of people don't know about. So it gives you patent pending for 12 months, really cheap, less than £1,000, and this lets you pitch in your invention. So this is what we've done. We filed a provisional patent. We got that patent pending on our marketing materials. We can now send it off to a bunch of companies, and we have. And then we use those 3D CAD models to make a 3D animation video. So no need for a prototype again, which saves a lot of money, saves a lot of
Yeah,
time.
which
You know,
looks amazing, doesn't it? Looks good.
oh, thank you. Yeah, it came out well. Really pleased with it. And then we turned that into a pitch video, just under 2 minutes. And now we've got it into 16 companies so far, multinationals selling tools. And we've got some really good interest from one of them already. A company in the US that sells in dozens of countries. The guy
Yeah,
likes it a
extremely
lot.
excited.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and that's where we're up to basically, isn't it? We've only started sending it out
Yeah,
in the last month or two. So it takes companies often like 2, 3 months to finish their review and replies. We haven't had that many replies yet. We will, but yeah, just wanted to give a quick overview of the process we followed, and yeah, so I guess the best tip for inventors, I'd say, is just look for those ways to cut corners and make things faster, like 3D CAD models, provisional patents, pitch videos, send it out. Oh yeah, and I guess I should say a bit about the route to market we're using. It's called licensing. So basically, all of the IP rights, the patents will be in Joe's name. We're pitching it to companies, and then if they license it, they'll essentially be renting Joe's patent. So for each unit they sell, Joe gets paid a royalty. And then the company does the marketing, the manufacturing, the distribution. They do all the heavy lifting. And then Joe is free to continue what he's doing, continue what he loves, making more inventions and doing his carpentry business. So yeah, it's a really nice route to market because you don't have to do all that running a business, which is really hard, especially I try and avoid that. You can get bogged down for 3 to 5 years trying to build customer service teams and employees and supply chains, all this nitty gritty stuff. So it's a really nice route to market.
shame I didn't meet you before. I had the first one made, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it
as you said,
happens.
the 3D CAD models are the way forward. So
Yeah,
clearly, so I
yeah.
did waste a lot of time, really, even though I got the invention I wanted, but I've still wasted a hell of a lot of time. If I'd met you a year before, 2 years before, I think we'd have been there already by now. But still, live and learn.
Yeah, exactly. Often the failures teach more than the successes, and I've had plenty of doozies. So yeah, we all make a few boobs, and then that shows us the way to do it right.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess. Do you have any tips for carpenters who might have an invention that they want to explore? Like anything that's helped you?
Don't hesitate if you've got an idea. Ignore the haters because there'll be plenty of them. Your friends on site, especially being builders. There's
Mm,
always the banter on site, and everyone trying to say, "Don't be stupid. That wouldn't work." But you get the honest carpenters who will 100% tell you the truth, and that's the main reason I really did go for it because a lot of the older men I know, as in 60-year-old joiners, carpenters, they thought it was a great idea. And to be honest, I've learned a lot from these older men,
mm,
and as far as I'm concerned, they're better carpenters than me. Even though I've learned from them and I know what they know, I still think that they are better carpenters than me. And they thought it was an amazing idea, and just go for it. Why not? And just invest a few pounds and see what can happen.
mm. Great advice. Yeah, I like that. Getting feedback from experts too. That's a big one. I like that. There's something I'm
Exactly.
working on trying to do more. A lot of people invent in a vacuum. You know, they don't talk to anyone, but getting that
Yeah.
feedback, sometimes bad, you
Yeah,
know.
I think you've got to get the feedback. Yeah, exactly. But if you
Yeah,
don't ask for feedback, and you know, whether it's good or bad, it's all
yeah,
positive at the end of the day, isn't it?
yeah,
It all helps. So yeah,
yeah. And often bad feedback, if it comes, holds the keys to the best inventions. Because, you know, they say, oh, you know, this is cool, but that bit sucks, that isn't going to work. Then you can just change that bit and then the whole thing's awesome. So yeah, getting
yeah.
eyes on the invention, very
Hmm.
valuable. All right, well, thanks, Joe. I think
Okay.
that's perfect. I think a lot of carpenters are
No
going to
problem, Rory.
get value from this and be inspired to
Hopefully.
follow their inventions.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Okay
right.
then.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.